I may be weird for saying this, but I actually really love rage games. The rewarding feeling you get after completing a tough obstacle cannot be compared. However, it's not easy to make a good rage game. This is where I believe Getting Over It excels. The design of this video game is impeccable, but I'll talk more about that later in the video. In this video, you'll learn why rage games can keep you coming back to them despite their difficulty, and why Getting Over It is such a good example of a well-designed rage game. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy. There are two main reasons why this game is so good. The first is simple human psychology. Let me explain. In the human brain, the prefrontal cortex is what's responsible for controlling cognition, impulse, and most importantly for this video, decision making. Rage games are not too dissimilar from gambling in that way, though much less risky. In gambling, there's a term called near miss. When a person, say, bets on a second place winner or busts by one in blackjack, it's referred to as such. The problem with near misses is that they trigger similar activity in the part of your brain that rewards you, causing the gambler to want just one more chance. This is the main root of a gambling addiction, because simply saying one more try could lead to 2, then 3, and keep going from there. But that's all gambling. How does this apply to Getting Over It? Well, in the game, when you're just barely unable to make it past an obstacle or fall, you get a glimpse of what's up next. Because you have seen your next objective, and have just nearly missed it, you get the same effect as you would in gambling. But there's no need to worry, as this is nowhere near as harmful as a gambling addiction. Rage games are perfect in the way that you have nothing to lose, physically, just your time. Because of this, you're more willing to take risks, try multiple options. In Getting Over It, your sole goal is to climb a mountain, but at any time you risk falling all the way back to the beginning. You would think that one would just give up there, but most don't. They keep going because they know subconsciously that seeing a new area means more stimuli, which means a reward to the brain, even if all you consciously feel is anger. Thus, they persist and keep trying to climb despite the challenge. It is a beautiful formula that makes rage games totally worth playing, in my opinion. Your lack of knowledge about the mountain itself is the only reason you play. In my personal experience, I noticed that after I finally beat the game, I no longer felt the need to play it other than to get footage for this video. I had already seen everything the game had to offer, so I was no longer rewarded when reaching a new area. However, there is still incentive to keep playing after your first playthrough, which leads me smoothly into the segment I'm much more qualified to talk about: game design. What did I mean when I said more incentive? Well, there are only 3 achievements in this game, so how could that be an incentive? In itself, the achievements are not worth the trouble to get them, but if you try playing a second time, you'll notice that what once took you hours now only takes a matter of seconds. That tangible improvement was designed into the game. Eventually, you start to get better and better, and eventually, you have runs like this. That is the continued incentive to improve and get better. Another success in this game's design is how obstacles are laid out. I would explain it to you, but Bennett Foddy himself actually touches on this, so I'll let him tell you.
A funny thing happened to me as I was building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past the new obstacle was my fault as a player rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them, and it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
As you can see, a lot of care went into Foddy's level design, and none of the obstacles felt cheap, unlike other lower quality rage games, which have cheap gimmicks that feel unavoidable. This also perfectly leads into the movement of the player themselves around these obstacles. Odd as it is, you control a shirtless man in a pot who climbs the mountain with a hammer. Because of the pot, the man can't just walk up the mountain, so instead, he opts to defy the laws of physics and climb with the hammer. The hammer isn't exactly sticky either. It slips off slopes and smooth surfaces, meaning you have to carefully plan where to put your hammer. Each obstacle takes a lot of practice, but again, none of them are unfair. The tutorial of the game itself, if you could even call it that, is a very tough obstacle alone. Many give up before even getting past it, which I think is also the reason why currently only about 7% of people have beat the game that own it. However, This is not a bad thing. It prepares you for the frustration that is to come ahead. It tells you directly to your face that you will get mad, but that's okay. Because if you're persistent enough, eventually, anyone can climb the mountain. Hey, it's been a while. As I said in the last end card, I haven't really had much time this summer. I had to crunch this video out in 1 week's time, but that isn't really a problem for me. Until this channel maybe gets bigger with some luck, I'm only doing this as a hobby. I'm counting on whoever is listening to this to be there for the whole journey. And thank you so much to the almost 50 of you that are subscribed already. Maybe I'll do something special at 50 subs, only time will tell. For now, thanks for watching, please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.